Hi, I'm Benjamin Bernstein with AstroShaman.com, and today's video I want to give you some ways to find a divine yes and no. Sometimes you really need a critical answer to a question, and you can try to logic it out or go with your emotions, but those aren't always the most accurate ways to find stuff out. So I'd like to show you a whole range of tools. You know, some things work better for others. So here's a whole lot of ways that you can try to connect with your higher self to get a yes or no answer to a question. One way is with a pendulum, and my beloved Makisla was kind enough to loan me this. So, for example, you just start with the pendulum just as still and quiet as you can, and then you say to it, okay, please show me a yes. And I'm noticing my pendulum is starting to swing counterclockwise. I'm sorry, forgive me, it's clockwise actually. So, and then I'll say, okay, please come to neutral. And honest, I'm not trying to do anything, so it's now slowing down. I'll say, please show me a no. And now it's starting to go the other way. So the idea is one direction clockwise is a yes, the other counterclockwise is a no, or vice versa. You just have to test your pendulum and see what you get. And, you know, different people have different preferences, different types of pendulums, stones, chains, you know, find the setup that works for you. But pendulums are very popular. Another way you can get a yes or no is muscle testing with another person. And the way you do this is you have, you know, one way or the other. And let's just imagine for a second I have a person here next to me and I put out my arm and you say to the divine, please show me, here's one of the two options. Is this the way that serves highest good? Then I would hold my arm the best I could, and the other person would try to push it down. Let's say it's a yes, and then my arm, no matter how hard they push, the arm's just holding steady. Okay, that is when I say, yep, that's a good answer. Then you go the other way, the opposite question, and then the alternative possible, and then they would push, and then the arm would be very weak and would just fall right down. And it doesn't matter whether the arm goes first or second. This is a pretty reliable way, and the body weakens when it's not the alternative that serves highest good and it stays strong what it is. So then what if you want to muscle test and no one else is around? Well, there's a couple of ways to do that. One is a two-hand muscle test, and I'll see if I can move myself so you can see the hands okay. The idea is the receiving hand, I use the left hand to receive and the right hand to apply pressure. You just do an okay symbol with your thumb and index. And the other hand, you put the thumb and middle together like this. And the idea is you then insert into the hole from the palm side, and then you ask both ways as before, and whichever answer serves highest good, you try with all your might to push that loop apart and it stays solid. And then if you try to push it apart and it separates, that's the weaker answer, and that would be the answer your divine is saying that's not the best answer. So whichever keeps the loop strong is the answer your divine is saying yes to. Then if you want to get even more subtle, there's the single hand muscle test. This is subtle. I'm going to try to, so this is my bird. Hello, I'm a bird. No, actually this is a muscle test. So here it's even subtler. The index finger is the resisting finger, and you try to hold it straight. The middle finger on top like this, pushing down on top of it, is the testing finger. So if it's a yes, or if this is the answer the divine is saying that's a good answer, then you'll push with all your might with that middle finger, and that you push with the middle, and that index finger just won't budge. It stays stiff and solid. But if it's not the answer that serves highest good, then the index finger weakens and it pushes in. So that's yet another way to muscle test. And there's still more ways. There's just no end to these. So I'm going to turn sideways to you, and you can say, okay, should I, yes or no? And then the idea is if you lean forward, it's a yes, and if you lean back, so if it's a yes, then I'm kind of falling forward. And if I'm just perfectly stable and I just relax and I fall back, then the divine's saying, no, that's not such a good idea. By the way, what I just did is a great way if you're, like when I enter a wood or a nature spot, and I want to be sure that the spirits of that place are allowing me entry, I'll stop and I'll often offer some tobacco or some kind of offering. If I have nothing else, I'll just pull a hair from my body and give the hair. The idea is to have some kind of reciprocity. I'll say, okay, may I enter? And if I get a forward yes, that's the spirit saying, yes, you can come in. Also, now these are all physical things. So what have we got so far? We got the pendulum, We got the muscle test with another person. We have your own two-hand muscle testing, single-hand muscle testing, leaning forward and back. That's 5 ways already, okay? Then you get subtler things where you just, actually what I'm about to show you is the one I now use, which is just a heart check. And I simply relax, I get as centered as I can, I call on my own awakened self the best I can. At that moment, I just become the most centered I can be. And then I just feel in my heart chakra and I just ask the question, would it serve highest good to do so and so? By the way, I think the phrasing can be important. If you say, should I, that can be trickier because your higher self isn't allowed to mess with your free will. So should? Well, you'll learn something either way, right? But if you just say, would it serve highest good? That to me is the phrasing that's optimal because you're acknowledging you've got free will, and of course you can go either way, but you're saying, in your opinion, higher self, would it serve the highest good in alignment with my soul purpose to take such and such an action? And then I just feel the heart chakra after I ask the question. And if it's a yes, there is a sense of rising. My own experience is almost like there's wings on the heart and they just kind of come up like so. And there's all shades of yes. There are at least 50 shades. And an emphatic strong yes, the heart just goes boom, and the wings just fly up and they're strong and oh yeah, it's a yeah. Sometimes it's kind of a little bit of a yes. So there's everything from just kind of a lukewarm sure why not to a whoa yeah, that's a wonderful idea from the divine. Then the opposite for me is when I feel in the heart and there's a sense of drooping wings. And again, if they just fall like that, that's a big no. And if they just droop a little bit, well, maybe not such a great idea kind of thing. And there's shades of, and also sometimes the wings go up or down with different speeds. Sometimes they just gradually work up or slowly, or there's immediate, you just get a sense of the feel. Now, some people don't have this experience. Some people, it's more like they just have a sense of, wow, it just feels expanding. And expanding, a sense of lightness, a sense of joy tends to be a yes. And a sense of contraction or heaviness or any kind of downward drooping kind of energy tends to be a no. If none of these work, there's all kind of other ways too. Ways that are less energetically direct is you could simply start journaling and you could ask the question. I have a post about this on my site. I don't even remember what it's called, but I'll try to link it in the video, where you just ask a question and you just start writing. And it doesn't matter if you're handwriting, or you're typing, or you're dictating. You just set a timer for 15 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever amount you got. The idea is and the rule is you can't stop talking. You just gotta, or writing, you just gotta go without stopping. And then eventually you run out of the thoughts you've already had and you're in virgin territory. And that's where often the insight, and the divine insight comes when you get this, ooh, that feels good. And there's a feeling that's a yes, and that's how you know, yep, that was the answer. So you just write continuously, no matter what's coming out, and you watch for that feeling, that knowing, because intuition is, you just know it in your bones. The very definition of intuition that is, I've found true, and I've verified by asking hundreds of clients of mine when I ask them about this, you just know. There's just a certainty of knowing that has nothing to do with logic or intellect or anything else. You just know. You just flat know. That's where your intuition is. So I hope that's been helpful. I'm just going to quickly review all the options again. You can use a pendulum. You can muscle test with another person. You can do a solo muscle test with 2 hands, a solo muscle test with 1 hand. You can lean forward or back, or let yourself be leaned forward. You can feel in your heart chakra. You can do journaling until the thing you're writing gets that buzz of certainty. And I guess another way I could add, you can just walk and relax, and then all of a sudden the answer might just pop in. The divine can, influence all the world around you, and that answer may come through words you hear overspoken by a person. You could be reading in a book, and all of a sudden, there it is. I've had that happen many times where the information I needed was just synchronously there in something I was reading or watching. So just be attentive all around to omens, because they're everywhere. And that's a subtler, kind of less direct way to get answers. But hey, if the others don't work, you do what you can. So I hope this has been helpful. And if I can be of service to you, again, my site is astroshaman.com. I do astrology, shamanic healing, awakening activation. I do life coaching. I've got memberships now where One's called the Astrology Mentoring Membership, where you can come in and we can help you learn astrology better. And I've got something called Awakening Plus, where you can come in and it can help boost your spiritual evolution. So all that's described on astroshaman.com. Thanks so much for listening. It's been my pleasure to share this information with you.